This is not really easy to talk about when you bring in the human element of hockey, and you forget about that constantly. You always forget that these guys are just human and that something could go horribly wrong at any time. And with the situation last night with Jay Bouwmeester, it's terrifying. It's absolutely scary to see something like that. They were saying it's something to do with a cardiac problem. I don't want to speculate on anything about this, but the point is, you got to say a prayer for this guy and his family. It's horrible to see these things, and it's absolutely it takes you away from the game completely. I think the NHL handled it very well. I think I reposted too many tweets actually in regards to this, but just to say a prayer for the guy and make sure that we're keeping him and his family in our thoughts. So that said, just keep that in mind, keep him in your thoughts. I know the Blues are supposed to release a statement this afternoon. I'm sure this video will be posted well after that. It's actually 5:30 in the morning right now. I'm exhausted, but I am just posting this to get this kind of off my chest because it is such a big deal and it's so huge and it's so much bigger than the game. When you think about it, and it brings that human element back to the game. And yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of this all the time. I think of these guys as robots, and they should be performing at 120% every single night. You got to remember, these guys are just human. I mean, you're gonna get tired, you're gonna get hurt, things are gonna go wrong. Situations like this may happen, and it's terrible to see, and it's horrifying, for the family and for the NHL organization in general to see this. So. That said, we had an injury tonight. Casey Cizikas went down with what looked like a laceration to his leg. I must have replayed it 10 times, and that's what it looked like. So I don't know what else to call it. If that's the case, if he does have a laceration, it could be anywhere from at least 2 weeks, let's call it. That's me being optimistic about it, and that's a big loss. This guy is a huge component to our penalty kill, to our overall forechecking ability, and just in general to the gameplay itself. He's a hustler, he's a worker. I know we pulled it out without him last night. I think we did an excellent job. I think Derek Brassard, deserves that credit for filling in for him. But, this is going to be tough without Casey Cizikas and now Cal Clutterbuck, not on the fourth line. So the fourth line is going to not even be the fourth line, really. It's going to be the fourth line, but not. It's going to be tough. So I think we'll be okay. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think we have a couple guys that I would think would be coming up, either Otto Koivula or Cole Bardeau, I think his name is. I can't even say his name. I stink at names sometimes. It's Cole Bardeau or something like that, so I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. This will be a testament, again, to younger players coming up and filling the void. Kiefer Bellows has done an excellent job thus far, and that's something you got to look at. I mean, this is more important than last night's game, in my opinion, in terms of injuries and what we're doing and what happened last night that threw everyone off on Twitter and just in general and across the NHL community. It just absolutely took everyone's breath away for a second, and I can't imagine. I saw the replay, and honestly, it's not easy to watch. It's absolutely horrifying just to see a guy go down like that. And I'm talking about Jay Bouwmeester, of course, but my point is that you have to look at these guys as human. You cannot forget that human element, and it's so important to understand, and I constantly forget about it. So that said, let's go into the game. Let's talk about it. We won 5-3. We beat the Philadelphia Flyers, and it was honestly a great game. I know everyone's upset about how we played defense, because we did play poor defense in that second and third period. I mean, I'm not sure what was going on. That first period, we rocked it. We absolutely showed up that first period. Looked like we were playing the Capitals the other night again in that first period, and we did a great job. Had 3 goals. I mean, that first period, we killed it. You had Martin scoring, you had Jordan Eberle scoring, Josh Bailey scored the first one off a weird deflection, by the way. That was a very bizarre deflection, but hey, again, I'll take any goal like that, even if it's a garbage goal. You got to take them when you can get them. But my point is, we were putting up big numbers on the board. We were scoring, and it's very interesting to see this team when they start scoring like that and start putting big points on the board, because we haven't done it recently. Prior to the All-Star break, we were scoring 2 goals, maybe 3 if we were lucky, but now we're putting up 5 goals in 2 games? That doesn't sound like the Islanders right now, does it? So that considered, I think that's a huge factor for us going forward, and you got to keep that in mind when we're going up against bigger teams. Now, Thursday, I want to talk more about the game, but I'm so focused on Thursday for some reason. I think because the last time Nashville came and they beat our butts 8-3, I want payback so bad, and I think that's why I'm so looking forward to tomorrow night's game against Nashville in Nashville. I'm sorry for jumping there so early, but let me finish out the game. So last night's game. The second period arrives. We do great in the first. I'm not even going to get into it. And Varley played a great game. I know some people were saying that Varley did an okay job. He didn't do that. Give me a break. The guy did a great job last night. Guys, he played an excellent game last night. He was 35 for 38 with a terrible defense in front of him last night for 2 periods straight. I mean, the guy did an excellent job. And I know the Islanders held their own on the offensive side, which was a miracle. I did not see that coming. But you got to give Varley credit. I think he played an excellent game last night, and that's the type of goaltending you want to see out of Varlamov and Greiss, for that matter. Just, keeping your team in the game is the priority. Whether or not they let in a couple goals, it's not the end of the world. I don't see it as a bad game if you let in a couple goals and you're up by 4 or 5. I just want them to keep us in the game as best they can. And that's all he did last night. I mean, you have to look and keep in mind how poor our defense played last night. It was atrocious at some points. The puck was sitting in our defensive zone for so long in some cases, and it was frustrating. And in the third period, I think we had like 2 penalties, one right after the other, and it was very hard to watch. Looking at a game like last night, Varley played a great game. Bottom line, Varley did an excellent job. Now, I think one of the bigger things that I noticed last night was a lot of giveaways. And I know the numbers actually don't tell the full tale. I think there was only 12 listed, or 13. I think it was 12 was our actual number of giveaways. I saw Anders Lee, and he does this. I think this is the 3rd game I've seen him do this multiple times in one game, is have the puck and give it up. When he's alone with the puck in the corner or coming up the side in the neutral zone, you know he's losing the puck. And I'm not sure if Anders Lee is just not a good, puck controller. He's just not very good at handling it, because he constantly gives it up. You see this day in, day out from him. I hope he gets better at it. He's definitely not Matt Barzal. And again, Matt Barzal even gives up the puck every now and then. And you see it more often than not lately, unfortunately. And that's something to keep in mind about Anders Lee. He keeps giving up the puck. I don't know what his deal is. And then, I want to talk about Matt Barzal, because he played a great game last night. I think he held the puck in the offensive zone for quite some time in some cases. But, I love that he almost tried for that Gary Gate lacrosse goal. And if you know who Gary Gate is, you know who I'm talking about. The OG on the over-the-top of the net lacrosse goal. Awesome goal when I was a kid. Anyway, Matt Barzal is so talented, and he's so good at handling the puck. But there's so many cases where he gets a good shot or a nice opportunity to put the puck in, and then it constantly blows it. You hope he steps it up a little bit in these away games. I know he's got 18 goals, but you just wanted to see more out of him in terms of putting the puck in the net. And I think our team is just backing up the rest of the players in general offensively in the last couple games. You got to look at the offense in the last couple games, because this has been a new team in terms of the offensive powerhouse that we become in 2 games. And that's a strong word to use for the Islanders, I know, as a powerhouse offensively, because they're definitely not, especially considering they've only done this for 2 games. I mean, if it was 6 games or something, then we're talking a different story, but 2 games, I mean, this is interesting. I don't know what else to call it, because you don't see this out of the Islanders. So then I'll just talk about the last 2 goals from the Islanders. I know the Philadelphia Flyers actually gave us a run for our money, and we just lapsed on defense. That's really what happened. We just absolutely started to sit on our heels and not attack the puck. And when we do that, that's when we start losing games. That's when we start giving up goals. And you cannot sit like that on defense. The guys they start watching. They absolutely start bird watching, and it's awful. The goal from Ryan Pulock at the end of the 3rd period was a doozy. I got to give that guy credit for that goal last night. And I constantly give Ryan Pulock and Johnny Boychuk so much crap for never hitting the net when they take those shots from the point. Last night, he totally proved me wrong and just fired it into that top shelf. It was a great goal from Ryan Pulock, and I was pumped about that to see him put one away, because he needs that confidence. Uncle Leo played such a great game in the Capitals game and last night's game. That guy is on fire right now. I think he's doing an excellent job for us. I am not surprised, because he is such a smart player. If you watch Leo throughout the games on his gameplay, he is so smart on the ice, and that's why he ends up in such great positions to put the puck in the net or to set up a goal. By the way, I was also surprised that the Philadelphia Flyers started Elliott. I was actually really thinking they were going to put Carter Hart in. Maybe I was over the top about that because I was pumped that Carter Hart was back from his injury. And he did a great job the other night against the Panthers. So I don't know, maybe I just thought he was going to play and he didn't play. So tomorrow night, I'll get into it now. The Nashville Predators, we lost to them 8-3 at the Coliseum. Yes, I'm going to remind all of you how bad that game was. I remember sitting there at the Coliseum. They were up 6-3 at that point, and I honestly I remember looking at the scoreboard go to 7 on that 7th goal and going, all right, I'm done. I can't watch this. This is torturous. And that's what it was. It was an absolute torture game for me and everyone else sitting there. Honestly, that's where I think we lost our groove in terms of how well we were doing. I really think that was the tip of the iceberg in terms of where the Islanders started to sink a little bit going into the All-Star break. I just looked it up. It was December 17th, so it wasn't that long ago. But yeah, I think that was the tip of the iceberg in terms of us kind of going downhill and our confidence just starting to sink. At this juncture, the Islanders' confidence is at an all-time high, forgetting that we lost Casey to an injury right now. I still think the Islanders are going to pull it out. I think we look great. I think the confidence on the offensive side of the puck is there. And that's so important for this team. It's so important because we just haven't had that going into the All-Star break. So now that you have that, I hope we take them out at the Bridgestone. I really hope so, because I am so tired of watching teams like Nashville beat us. Like, it's ridiculous. And I'm talking about like Anaheim, Nashville, Vegas, like teams that I cannot stand to watch us lose to. It's absolutely, it crushes me. I hope we win out. I hope we win this road trip that we're going on, and it's important that we do well because this is going to shape how we're doing going into the playoffs. Guys, I know this has been a somber review of last night's game, but considering what's been going on within the NHL with Jay Bouwmeester, it kind of took a lot out of me personally to kind of get excited for this review, and it's just really important that we all focus on that right now and kind of keep that at the top level. So, I look forward to the press conference this afternoon. Again, this probably won't be posted till after that conference, so, things might change, between now and then. Thank you for watching, guys. It's always a pleasure. I appreciate you guys checking this out. And please remember to like this video, subscribe if you can, if you're into this stuff, and I really hope you are. I love doing these videos, so thank you guys for checking it out. And always remember, guys, this is our island.